In Victorian times, what did every political leader want? That's right, a country seat. And that's why Benjamin Disraeli bought this Hughenden Manor. Benjamin Disraeli was a self-made man. He scaled the heights of the establishment, Prime Minister when Britain ruled the waves. He made a queen, his empress. But he was always seen as an outsider. Born Jewish, though a convert to Christianity, society felt he was never quite a fit. Hughenden Manor, here in Buckinghamshire, was once a neat Georgian mansion with a stucco facade. And when Disraeli bought it in 1848, he changed all that. He tore off the stucco, he put in this extra section on the front, and just look at those Gothic window arches, the turrety section on top. It's one big Gothic castle near High Wycombe. Disraeli loved it, but the architectural historian Nicholas Pevsner said it was excruciating. There he is, the great man, a statue in the foyer. And you know, this plate glass here looks pretty modern, doesn't it? But actually, Disraeli himself put it in because he didn't like the cold. Though he had the country seat, Disraeli wasn't the hunting and shooting type. He said that when he came to Hughenden from London, he would spend the first week walking in the grounds and the second week with his books. What we have here is Disraeli's library, in the sense that the volumes were his, but when he lived here it was a drawing room, as we see in this picture of him here with the Prince of Wales. The library was next door, but when his nephew inherited the house, he changed the library from there to here to protect the books, because that room was sunnier. This is Disraeli as a young man with his famous kiss curl. He took great care of his appearance, and his wife used to set that curl every day. He didn't have the conventional background of a 19th century politician. He was a writer, becoming a novelist as a way of paying off debts. He'd lost thousands in South America on a bad investment. As his political career took off, his novels became very popular. Novels like Coningsby depicted the extremes of wealth and poverty caused by the Industrial Revolution. Disraeli would also help steer a Reform Act through Parliament in 1867, giving the vote to many working-class men. His writing career rivalled Dickens, but Disraeli didn't keep his own novels on these shelves. His was a library for serious study, volumes of Hansard and history, including Jewish history. His father, Isaac, had had his children christened after a dispute with his synagogue in London. But Disraeli never forgot his heritage. Queen Victoria once asked Disraeli who exactly he was, and he said he was the blank page between the Old Testament and the New. The most honoured visitor here was, of course, Queen Victoria. Take a look at this on Disraeli's desk. It's a model of his wife Mary Anne's left foot, a very slender foot I might say, and Disraeli had this done because Queen Victoria had models of her children's feet and he wanted to emulate her. When they first met, the Queen wasn't that impressed, but she warmed to Disraeli after he called in Parliament for a permanent memorial to her late husband Prince Albert. Disraeli was a gossip and knew how to flatter her. The Queen far preferred him to his rival, the Liberal leader Gladstone. She said that Gladstone addressed her as if she was at a public meeting, whereas Disraeli was full of poetry. In 1875, Disraeli secured a controlling interest for Britain in the Suez Canal, a gateway to the Indian part of the British Empire. Now, Victoria was very conscious of status and didn't want to be outranked by her daughter Vicky, who'd married into the Prussian royal family and would thus one day be an empress. So Disraeli saw a royal titles bill through Parliament which would make Victoria Empress of India. Victoria made him Earl of Beaconsfield. Punch magazine depicted it as
one good turn deserves another, although she had been trying for some time to get him to accept a title.
Among the gifts that Queen Victoria gave to Disraeli was this magnificent edition of Goethe's Faust. So beautiful, and this binding is so rare. There's never been another one like it. And so you open it, this absolutely amazing book, and here is Victoria's gift inscription. To Lord Beaconsfield, with many happy returns of the season, from Victoria, Christmas Eve, 1876. The Conservatives lost the general election in April 1880, and Disraeli was heartbroken and died in London in the following year. When he died, he was working on his final novel, and here it is, Falconet. It's incredible to have the manuscript, Disraeli's handwriting, what he actually wrote. And it has to be said, this is a bit of a thinly veiled attack on Gladstone, and it's not Disraeli's best novel. But what I find amazing is the fact that here we have the last literary line that Disraeli ever wrote before he died. And it is, a man of considerable station and distinction. And that, I think, is very fitting.
The Queen was devastated. The day after his death, she came to Hughenden and had the rooms photographed to remember them as they were.
As a monarch, Queen Victoria was not able to attend the funeral of the commoner, but she sent a wreath of primroses. And for decades after, Disraeli's death was celebrated as Primrose Day, with processions to his memorials. And in tribute to him, his supporters set up the Primrose League, which became the biggest political organisation of the 19th century. Quite what Disraeli would have made of that is another matter. He wasn't that keen on populism, but he was undoubtedly a man of his times, the ultimate Victorian.